At least 6 people have been killed after strikes by the Iran-backed Houthi rebels. This is on a cargo vessel sailing near the Bab al-Mandeb Strait off Yemen's coast. The fatalities were announced by Coast Guard from Yemen's internationally recognized government. Eyewitness footage recorded near Yemen's coast showed a cargo ship engulfed in flames with thick black smoke rising from the vessel. In a statement, the Coast Guard also said that 4 sailors aboard the cargo vessel identified as Tiama were among the dead, along with 2 members of the forces deployed during a rescue mission to evacuate the ship. It further added that the initial salvo targeting the ship caused a fire aboard the vessel and inflicted extensive damage, killing the crew comprising of 3 Pakistani nationals and 1 Indonesian national, while a second strike targeted the vessel as rescue workers carried out a mission to evacuate the ship. A Houthi media outlet later reported that the group's armed forces targeted a ship on Tuesday in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait that it said was carrying Saudi military equipment, although there was no official comment from the Houthis about the alleged attack. Meanwhile, the US military continues to enforce a strict blockade in the Strait of Hormuz. On Tuesday, a US helicopter fired missiles into the engine room of a Panama-flagged cargo ship that attempted to break the American blockade of Iran's ports. In a post on X, the US Central Command said that US Navy's MH-60 helicopter fired Hellfire missiles, disabling the MV Vela Nova after the ship's civilian crew ignored repeated warnings from American forces. It further said that the vessel is no longer transiting to Iran in violation of the US blockade. This is the 3rd time in a months-long war. War is currently in its 6th month between US and Iran, and that US has forcibly halted a vessel since reinstating the port's blockade on the 14th of July. Now, CENTCOM said that it has redirected 55 ships that tried to run the blockade and boarded 2 others as of Tuesday. Amid the action in Hormuz, a senior advisor to the commander-in-chief of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps had suggested that Iranian forces must be able to expand their operations into enemy territory and carry out missions far beyond Iran's borders.
Whenever the situation demands and the order is issued, we must be capable of extending operations into enemy territory and conducting missions far from our own land. These are the characteristics of an offensive doctrine that must be realized. The IRGC is now tasked with achieving this readiness and developing the capability to execute such operations at the appropriate time.
Parallel to this, Iran's top security official Mohsen Rezai said that the vital Strait of Hormuz shipping route will remain closed unless the US accepts Iran's conditions to end the war, the release of Iran's frozen assets, and an end to conflicts throughout the region, including in Lebanon and Gaza. Pakistan's Interior Minister Mohsin Naqvi met with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in Tehran. Reports suggested that the unannounced visit was aimed at encouraging Tehran to return to negotiations under an interim peace agreement brokered by Pakistan in June. In another related development, a New York Times report has revealed that during 5 days of intense fighting last month, Iran launched waves of drones and missiles at US troops on 3 bases in Jordan, as Pentagon's supply of interceptors quickly dwindled. It further said that Iran used advanced missiles that can alter course, forcing Americans to burn through scarce supplies of Patriot interceptors.